Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is January 25th and guess what? It's my birthday! This is our Simple Abundance year. We're following along in Sarah Von Braunach's new edition of Simple Abundance there on the left side of the screen. And I wasn't going to do a video in live time today because I knew there's an entry in the book about birthdays and went searching for it and figured I would videotape this and then post it later on that day. But guess what? That entry is no longer in the new book. So I'm going to borrow from the old edition, which I know some of you are still following along with. That's her 90s version of this book, and it's been since, like I said, updated for a new generation with a lot of new entries and rewritten things. This was an entry that she called a birthday ritual, and I thought it perfectly timed to share it today. And my cat is playing in the background again. You might hear her. I thought it perfectly timed to share with you what I'm doing today, which is very similar to what she suggests. So whether your birthday's coming up or it's a long way off, this is something to definitely think about for your own birthday. She calls it a birthday ritual. And actually, before I read what she says in the entry, I'm going to say a couple things about birthdays. I love birthdays, but sometimes I also feel like my expectations are very high for them because I think back to, maybe we all do, when we think back to childhood memories and the way that our moms would set up a party and make the cupcakes and there'd be games and fun things like that. I'm always, I think, trying to recapture that magic. And so I usually do make a lot of plans. Like, I've had some really incredible birthdays. Like, I had a birthday at a painting studio with friends one year. I've gone on trips, went to a water park, an indoor one obviously because this is January. But typically I'm always trying to make a really big fuss about it because I love birthdays and I love celebrating anybody's birthday. It's like, I feel like it's like the best day of the year for everybody when it's your birthday, and I hope you feel that way too. But why am I saying this is because this year I just really felt like I just want to lay low. I just want to have a day with myself. Not unlike my last video about creative excursions, I have a couple things written down that I did one of them yesterday and it's carrying over in today, and some just ideas and just being with myself and having a quiet day and not making a huge fuss about it. But again, with self-care, taking care of myself too, as far as, like, you can see I got some chocolate vegan cupcakes. I didn't want to light the candle because I figured I'd talk too long and it would start a fire. But I'm so fortunate here. You can see my loot. I've got presents that came in the mail, cards, and present that was given to me in person, and some flowers that arrived. So I'm definitely feeling the love, and let me read what she says and then I'll say a little bit more about some of the things I'm doing. So she talks about having a personal birthday ritual. What she says, I'm going to just paraphrase, is that she takes the morning and she goes into her bedroom and she puts aromatherapy of some kind going. She lights a candle for every year of that she's been born, little candles. And then she reflects on the year. She looks at pictures. She puts on her favorite music. She usually does something spiritual, like reads a psalm and gives thanksgiving for her life. And she says, as the candles burn, I reflect on my personal journey so far. So many wonderful moments of the past year have already slipped from my conscious memory. It's comforting to call them back for a brief visit. I'm going to be skipping through here. Many people who love you will try, but no one can celebrate your birthday exactly the way you'd need for it to be observed. That's because no one really knows the year you've just completed, and no one else has lived it. What's more, each year is different. I'm trying to skip so I don't read the whole thing. Only your authentic self knows how deeply these events remembered and have reverberated. And she goes on to talk about there's a lot of things that sometimes people don't know that you went through in the last year. And I explained to you that 2019 was not my year, let's be honest. But a couple things that I did, I pulled out my gratitude journal from last year, and I did read any of the unforgettable days that I wrote down from last year and really revisited them. And I had some really special moments. And remember when I talked to you about what an unforgettable day is, it's not something that is necessarily like beyond imaginable. It's these quiet moments, like one that I was reading about when my dad visited last spring, and we were sitting on the couch and we were playing Name That Tune back and forth with our Kindles, and my cat came up and the window was open, and it was just like a moment that I know that I will cherish and just never forget when I think about my time with my dad. So I did enjoy reading over some of those unforgettable days. I also pulled out my baby book. I don't know that I've looked through that in years. I was born at 2:41 in the morning. I never knew that. I mean, I know sometimes you have to know those things for astrological charts and things like that, and I can never remember. I always remember that the room number that I was born in was 202, so I guess I can try to remember that the time was in the morning, 2:41 a.m. And I was reading, my mom passed when I was younger, so it's bittersweet to read her words, but I was reading and remember her handwriting so well, a lot of the things that she wrote about my first birthday and how much I loved the cake. And I was looking back at some old pictures. I grabbed one here, see this one from my first year. And I was looking at old pictures. Sarah said she does that as well during her birthday ritual. So I've made this a contemplative day, and I told you all that I'm turning 44, or I am now officially 44. And so the morning just already started off with really wonderful, joyful messages and unexpected things from far and near. And so I just made a list in my journal, and I put 44 lines down, and I've already got about half of it filled, and the day is not even half over. So I'm just taking stock of all the 44 wonderful little surprises that are coming to me today. And again, this is all with no plans at all. My plan was just to not have a plan and just to have a quiet day with myself, and it's working out well. So at the end of this entry, which again is no longer in the new book, I'm so sad that it's gone, but I'm glad I can share it with you. She says, every birthday, not just the ones marking a new decade, is a significant milestone. Every age brings with it 365 real-life lessons. We turn, not older with years, but newer every day. Emily Dickinson reassures the birthday girl in all of us, and that's certainly something worth celebrating in grand style. So happy birthday to you. I've got a good feeling that this coming year is going to be your best yet. Heaven knows you deserve it. I love that, and I'm glad that I could share with you guys what I'm doing today to honor myself and the passing of the new year and the things that I'm looking forward to in the upcoming year. And not unlike all the tools that we just discussed, and there's many more to come, but some of the tools that we just discussed earlier this month, I am reconnecting and putting down on paper and in visual terms the things that I want to see that are beautiful and joyful and simple. I'm going to bring some order into my life. I'm definitely fostering gratitude and seeing a lot already with that. And since I didn't say this, joy, harmony, harmony, definitely having harmony. I didn't say them in order, so I'm lost track of which ones I said. But you know the simple abundance principles already, right? You don't even need me to list them out again. But just like Sarah says, I am fostering all of the principles and getting in touch with myself and celebrating me. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and even though it's probably not your birthday today, I hope you're celebrating you in some special way. And I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.